Hello everybody, Saigan Cat here. I'm back from my vacation. It was fun, it was great. I'm going to talk about it more in the Builders episode tomorrow, but we have a collection update. This is stuff that I didn't even have to send away for. This is great. I actually kind of really enjoyed my vacation in California. It was for, Periona's best friend was getting married. She desperately wanted me to go with her. Historically, I don't vacation well. I never relax. I'm always a big ball of stress. I'm stressful at home all the time. I'm always stressing out over everything. On vacations, I get even worse. Went with Perry anyways. We drove. We didn't even fly to California. We drove through New Mexico and Arizona and Nevada and California before we got to where we were staying in Huntington Beach. First of all, California, your weather confuses me. I don't understand this whole marine layer thing. It's really strange waking up every morning, regardless of the fact that it is March right now. I wake up in the morning and it's like it's a pleasant 68 degrees outside. It's nice and cool. And then around noontime, the sun blows away and destroys all of that mist that the ocean has kicked off. And then suddenly, it's in its 70s and low 80s. Is your weather like this year-round? Apparently, yes. That is what everybody has told me. But it was a nice trip. I asked around for things to do before I went, and Mimas recommended that I go to the Book Off in Costa Mesa, which is the neighboring city. Didn't feel like a city, but apparently it's a city. Apparently Huntington Beach and Costa Mesa and LA and, well, this is Orange County, tons and tons of cities in California, and they're all shoved right next to each other, and it's kind of hard to tell where one ends and another one begins. In Colorado, it's really obvious when you've left the city, because when you leave Colorado Springs on the way to Denver, there's 40 minutes of just not much. It's really pretty, you've got the mountains to look at and everything, but it's clearly not, a city that you're in. California, once you're in the city, just all the cities are kind of packed together. But Minos recommended that I go to the Book Off. A little story before I show off my pile of Japanese books that I found. I had all of Friday to myself. Go and explore. And I actually did. Perry's very proud of me. I typically stay in my little bubble, and I said, no, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to gain some life experience. I'm going to go and explore a strange city on foot. And I did. I'm very proud of myself for that. But I walked out, it was like an hour and a half walk to the Huntington Beach Pier, where I had breakfast, and then, I pulled up my phone, and I did a search for the Book Off that Mimas had mentioned, and I looked at it, I'm like, well, it's not that far away. It's like a 2.5 hour walk from here. Mind you, I'd already walked like an hour and a half. It's Colorado. We're big on hiking. Well, in Colorado, we're big on hiking. We'll walk anywhere. So after I have breakfast, I start walking, and the estimated walk time was about correct. And that was where I discovered that around noon, when the marine layer burns off, there's suddenly a lot of sunlight. I got legit sunburned for maybe the second time in my life. And this isn't due to me not going outside. I actually enjoy outdoor activities. I enjoy camping very much. It's this suburban stuff where I have a hard time, coping. Like if I'm out in the woods by myself, I'm fine. I'll build a fire from nothing. I will hunt for my own food. I'll prepare it. I'll build a shelter. I will fight a grizzly bear. I won't fight a grizzly bear. Not a grizzly bear. I'll fight a black bear. Because black bears are cowards. You look at a black bear and you go, ooga booga booga. And they run off. They're great. Same goes for mountain lions. I've seen both here. Not worried about them. Grizzly bears scare the crap out of me, though. Grizzly bears scare the crap out of me like visiting a new city on foot. But I did it anyways. It took forever to get there. I got horribly, horribly sunburned. I don't know if you can like see it here or not. I don't. Yeah, well, I'm pretty tan right now, and I'm actually peeling on the back of my neck, which is just weird. It doesn't hurt that much though. Typically, I don't burn. Typically, I just tan. Got there, walked in. Huge, best manga selection I've ever seen anywhere, and they had Japanese novels as well. They had import video games, which I looked through. They had is it Toby from Dragon Quest Monsters 2? I think they had his version of the game, but they wanted like $15 for it. I wasn't sure if that was a good price for a Game Boy Color game. Typically, there's plenty of stock on Dragon Quest games in Japan. Like, you know, Dragon Quest 7 in the US, it's gotten kind of hard to find. You're looking at spending probably $100, maybe more, for a complete copy. Japan, though, I mean, I got my Japanese copy of Dragon Quest 7 for like $10 shipped. They're not hard to find. So seeing it for $15, I wasn't convinced, so I didn't wind up picking up any games. Their books, however, they had a lot of books and a lot of manga on sale for like $1 each. Some of these were $1, some of them were a little bit more, but I'll show these off to you guys, and I will save the Dragon Quest finds for the very end. So I found this. I'll hold it up here. This is a 4 book for Pokemon Black and White. I think this was. But it's seriously, it's just, how many comics is this? It's almost 300 4-panel comics for Pokemon, and they're pretty funny. I don't know if you've ever seen like 4 comics before, the 4-panel ones. I get a kick out of them. This one was only like $5. Had a lot of fun with this one so far. We grabbed 2 to help with our reading. I was really hoping to find a complete set of this. This is Yatsubato, which is totally worth reading. This is there's not much kanji in this one, and what kanji there is has furigana with it. But this is a really cute series. I've read it in English before. Mary recommended that this was a really good one for beginning Japanese readers to read because it's very simple to read. There's not much kanji, and the kanji that there is, there's furigana for it. And it's not particularly wordy. It's fun and it's cute. Their collection of Yatsubato was kind of all over the place. Like, you know, they'd have like 10 in a row and then they'd be missing a couple of volumes. So I just grabbed the earliest volume that they had, volume 3. I've already read through the story, so it doesn't bother me to not start at the beginning. But hopefully I'll be able to finish out that collection eventually. We also picked out Chinai Momo-chan, little Momo. And this is another cute children's book. Doesn't have a lot of pictures, but again, not much katakana or kanji. Not much kanji, but the kanji that there is, there's, again, furigana for it. I got through, it took me forever, mind you, but I got through maybe the first half a chapter, all by myself. I'm so proud of myself. It was really slow going, and, you know, I'd have to stop and pick apart the sentence and figure out what went where, but it's nice to see myself making progress, and Perry has noticed that I've been making some good progress with my Japanese, so happy about that. How could we not? I mean, it was sitting right there on the shelf. So yeah, we picked up One Punch Man. And if you're not familiar with One Punch Man, what the hell is wrong with you? Go watch it right now. It's the best thing to happen to anime in years. It's so good. It's so funny. It has amazing fight scenes. The story is great, and the writing is just hilarious. I have to show off Mosquito Woman. It was great. Probably, this one's going to be a bit harder to get through. There's much more kanji in this. They still use furigana, which is nice, but there's a lot more kanji in here. And this one's aimed at an older audience as well. So, One Punch Man. Dragon Quest stuff. The reason why you are probably, some of you may be here. I got 3 Dragon Quest books while we were there. I was really hoping that they would have Dino Doboken. They had 0 Dino Doboken. That upset me. But it's okay. Because they did have 3 strategy guides that I don't have in my collection yet. We have the official Dragon Quest VII guidebook. And these guides are really thorough. Prima just does a terrible job compared to these guides. They're so good. They're so good. Show you all a couple of pages out of this. Pretty happy with this one. It's funny that, you know, 7 is still one of the 2 Dragon Quest games that I haven't finished. Main series, of course. I'll get to monsters, I promise. We have the Dragon Quest VIII official guidebook. This one actually comes with a... Oh, excuse me. Dragon Quest VII also comes with a dust cover. The Dragon Quest VIII official guidebook. Thick. I don't know if you're going to be able to make it out on camera, but the landscape, there's actually a landscape painted on the sides of the pages of the book on this one. It's a really nice touch. This whole thing is just super pretty to look at. Like all of their guides, these are very thorough. Full monster information. See if I can find some maps or anything. There's a lot going on in this book. Now, we have cheese recipes. Cheese recipes are important. I have no idea where the walkthrough is, honestly. But I'll probably be looking through this more. Is there a walkthrough in this? It doesn't feel like there is. No. Like there's... It feels like there's recommendations in this. It's almost like a data book. Like it's got the monster list. It's got... What are the chapter titles? It's got characters. And then a bunch of Japanese words. Moving on. I also got the Dragon Quest Monsters 2 strategy guide. This one doesn't mean much to me yet because I haven't played it. I know that DQM2 is a fan favorite, the one that many people spent most of their time on. Let's see if... I don't think there's going to be maps. Dragon Quest Monsters was mostly all random maps, wasn't it? So I don't think they're going to have anything like that in here. It looks thorough. So yeah, that was my vacation. I posted some of the photos from Disneyland to Twitter. We went to Disneyland. We went to the Star Wars stuff. Oh my God, I had so much fun. I had way more fun than a 32-year-old man should have at Disneyland. I got to build a lightsaber. Do you guys want to see my lightsaber? Let me show you my lightsaber. Hang on just a second. I'll find it. Yeah. They had a little Blade Builders thing set up outside of the Star Tours ride, which is totally updated now, by the way. It's got Finn and BB-8 in it. and it's got really, really good 3D glasses. The ride itself is only like 3 to 4 minutes long, maybe, but it was so much fun. It's one of those motion rides where they rock you around, but it worked great. There's this awesome part where your engines die and you're falling through this big space battle towards Coruscant, and like R2, not R2, it was R2. R2 gets the engines working again, like right as you're falling into the traffic in Coruscant, and you gotta fly through it. Like I'm 10 again. Like I was giggling the entire time. Perry heard me. But we did the Blade Builders thing. I was going for kind of a Luke Skywalker look. I know this top part is all wrong, and then I gave it the Dooku curve because I've always kind of liked that. We got to meet Chewie and took pictures with Chewie and with Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren doesn't appreciate jokes about his dad. I would tell you the joke, but, you know, spoilers. Well, no, I guess it won't really be a spoiler. It'll be a spoiler if... All right, just, if you haven't seen episode 7 yet, just end the video, all right? Kylo's walking around in front of us. Perry is giggling because he was a little bit taller than me with the costume on. I think he was actually shorter than me, but the helmet was pretty big. Not like Darth helmet big, but, you know, pretty big. And he's doing this whole thing, and they've got actors there, and, you know, he's making sure that we qualify to join the First Order, and he goes to take a picture with us. And he turns to the camera, and, you know, they have First Order officers standing there using your phones to take the pictures, as well as taking pictures with the official camera. And you can just go and download them off of the Disney site, whatever. So she's about to take the picture. I like lean over. I'm like, sorry about your dad. And he did the best like slow head tilt, like. And the First Order officer's like, we don't talk about his parents. So that was really fun. The entire trip was fun. Guys, I have never had so much fun on a vacation before. I think a lot of it was just being there with Perry. We got an audiobook for Ready Player One. We listened to that the entire way back. Fantastic story. If you're into like late 70s into like early 90s, like that range of geek knowledge, if you're familiar with like the music, games, movies from that era, this book is like a love letter to you. It's fantastic. They even talk about a lot about like the old Japanese anime series in it. There's a lot of references. It's supposed to be getting a movie. I have no idea how they're going to do it, because there's seriously a point where the giant robot from the Japanese live-action Spider-Man, Leopardon, maybe, is fighting Mechagodzilla. There's so many hilarious references in this, and it was a lot of fun just as an audiobook. I'd never listened to an audiobook before. Pretty happy with this one. We'll probably be doing another one if we go on another road trip. Will Wheaton was reading it, which just added to the flavor. Whenever he would talk about, like, you know, they bring up Star Trek Next Generation in it. They bring up Will Wheaton in it as an online persona. It was so meta. The entire book was meta. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's been like 20 minutes. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm your host, Saigan, and I will see you all next time. Take care.